In this video, we'll be taking a look at domains and hosting and exploring what the difference between the two are. You may have us ask you for a login to your domain registrar or your hosting login, and oftentimes those can be two separate things. In order to do this, we'll take a look back and sort of explain where the internet started and how we got here. So the internet is a worldwide system of computer networks. An IP address is a unique address that identifies a device on the internet. Like a phone number that is a unique set of numbers that identifies your phone so that other people can call you, an IP address is a unique set of numbers that identifies your computer so that it can send and receive data with other computers. Researchers who used the early internet relied on a phone book style list maintained by a single individual. So they would just put in the numbers for the web address. Eventually, they realized that they needed something that would work more efficiently at scale, because you can't, just like we have phone books, because you can't remember everybody's phone number. We can't remember every IP address off the top of our heads. And so at scale, the domain name system works better. The DNS organizes the names into hierarchically nested domains like .com or .edu and stores the information needed to resolve names into their corresponding numeric IP addresses on a decentralized group of servers located around the world. So around the world, there are computers that have databases that say, okay, when someone puts in this URL, like yourwebsite.com, this is the IP address that it should look to find the files for that website. By the late 1990s, this somewhat ad hoc coordination of DNS-related tasks had become increasingly untenable. A nonprofit organization called the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN, was created to administer policy for the Internet name and address system. Every domain registrar is certified with ICANN. You can kind of think of them as resellers. So they are registered with ICANN. You buy a domain from them. They go back to ICANN and say, hey, this person owns the domain. If you wanted to get certified with ICANN, you could, but the cost of getting and maintaining that certification isn't worthwhile for just one or even a few domains. So, what is a domain? A domain name is an easy to remember address used to access websites. You can purchase a domain from any domain registrar. All the domain registration does is tell ICANN that you own that URL. What is hosting? In a nutshell, web hosting is the process of renting or buying space to house a website on the World Wide Web. The files for your website are stored on your host's computer. Then you tell your domain registrar the IP where the files are located. So if we're asking for your domain login, we want to be able to go and tell your registrar for your domain name, this is the computer where we should be looking for those files. If we're asking for your hosting login, or we're talking about hosting, we're talking about where the files for your website actually live. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Red Orange.